Hello. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. Hello, everybody. Hello, my friends. Hi, welcome to another stream. My name is RODGON. I am an artist. I'm a designer. I'm a cartoonist. I'm an illustrator. But more importantly, today I am your instructor. And I plan to teach you something cool to draw today. Yesterday, we were doing just a little tribute to Akira Toriyama because of his passing, and I just wanted to draw really cute, simple, like Dragon Ball scenes. So I went ahead and just drew Bulma, some Dragon Ball, some tattoos, and I drew Goku with her in one of her iconic scenes. And that was just a quick little sketch that I wanted to do. So, hello, should we draw today? What do we do with this last of this book? What should we doodle this morning? All right, let's see. Let's see. What do we want to draw? Do we want to have like a nice little chill vibe type of situation? Just do some reference work? Do we just want to draw some faces to get some practice in? Do I want to think of a new idea, a new story? The ideas can be endless. One thing that I like to tell people is that if you're worried about finding your style, or you're worried about like finding your path, finding the one thing that you really love, if that is your big concern and you haven't really found the thing that makes you happy, you need to just amass as much knowledge as possible so that you have more avenues to play with and test and experiment with. If you are a person that's very indecisive as to what path and career they want to do, it's because nothing has really stood out like that to you. It's like when you find it, you find it. When you find that one thing that you really love, you're like, okay, cool. I think I know what I want to do the rest of my life. For me, it happened to be teaching. It happened to be the act of being able to talk in front of people, the pressure of being able to draw in front of people, and then using that skill set that I developed to be able to build something that would benefit me. So, over the years, I have spent my time learning how to speak. I have spent my time learning how to draw quickly so that I can actually have good visual communication skills with people. And I have learned how to simplify the most complicated parts of the body and structures so that I can actually help people. So it's been really nice. I'm doing DBZ painting. Yay! That's good. Let's see. If we learn how to draw from the outside in, we end up being able to draw a lot of things really easy, like body parts. Let's see, let's draw ourselves a little bit of a curvature to my butt. Bam. And then what type of pose should we give myself? I think I'm just going to give myself a very cartoony, very standard pose. I'm going to give myself a midline, and I'm going to give myself a little space for my goodies. From there, the spacing in between from there to the edge becomes one of my hip bones. From there to the edge, another one of my hip bones. And then these can be stylized to go in the directions that I feel like. My legs are really short here, so I'm going to move my legs up a little bit by just moving that hip bone hole up. Ooh. And then from there, what type of clothing do I want to use? Let's see. Do I want shorts Yeah, let's do shorts. So to find clothing, all you got to do is find the volume within that space, which can be easily done by finding a circle inside of it. Anything that you draw a circle inside is going to give you a guideline, right? If you make this guideline a little bit bigger, you have something that would overlap. When you do that on top of other items, it gives you a semblance of an overlapping shape. In this case, it's clothing. Do the same thing for belts. You can do the same thing for t-shirts. It's a little baby overlap. It's all you really need to create depth. You already have the t-shirt line from the way that I teach faces. So if you guys want to learn how to draw faces like me, you guys can go watch my videos. There's a bunch of them out there. And then at the end, when you want to add any sort of musculature or style, that is when you just divide this and you add whatever styling you feel like drawing. I'm going to give myself some big poofy socks. The legs are really easy to draw, by the way. If you find that circle at the hips by drawing a circle like this, right? Draw a circle, divide it into 4, and use the bottom 2 sections to draw your quadrants. If you draw something like this, you leave a little space in the middle for your goodies, and you draw 2 circles on the side. From there, you can draw 2 little cones, ta-da, that taper down, and you have a very simplistic semblance of a leg. When you make those going down, you can make the character standing up really quickly. Now, this stage is fine, but then all the detail has to be added, right? So once you have this, all you have to do is divide this into 2 and then choose which parts you want to balloon out. If you want like super thick thighs, if you want skinny legs, you know, whichever way you want to do it, once you have that connecting point, it's just a matter of how much you want to balloon this, and it's just about splitting this in 2, whichever way you draw it. So, divide it in 2, and then you can add all your musculature on top. These 2 sections will give you your hip bone inside, right? So this is the inside of your hip bones that leads to your belly. Ta-da! So that's your abs. And then when you add your upper body, you complete the system. So understanding a simple shape of a circle and let's say an egg would be enough to be able to tell you how to draw a human body, if you learn how to visualize it properly. And then this one would be back. And it's gonna be like a superpower thing, like. The thing is, when you get like situations like this, right? You can just adjust that leg. Once you find that endpoint, I can adjust this leg going anywhere I want because I have that endpoint. So I have that connecting point. So if something doesn't look right, I can just move it. It's really, really cool. Like all these sushis. There's a video that I did on these. So these, once you have this connecting point, let's call this a whole body system. Let's say that I wanted this leg a different place. Well, this is just a cone. So all I have to do is take a point, move it to a different point and then connect it. And then I have my foot in a different place. Well, what if I want it bent? Well, when you want things bent with your legs, you gotta realize that this upper point of your leg is going to be the most important because that's gonna be your pivot point. That little circle, the top of that circle is the top of your hip bone. If your leg goes up, from there, the volume follows it. Okay? When you start bending your legs, this is gonna become very prevalent. You're gonna want to always connect back to that initial hole because that is essentially how you're gonna be able to control where that body part goes. So once you understand this much, that little circle, it literally opens up so much because anything that you draw from there is going to be a leg. Anything that kind of goes out of that section is going to look like a leg. And I'm not kidding. Like you can draw something just completely straight and it's going to look more like a leg, or you can draw something more curvy and it's going to look like a leg. You can draw a noodle and it's going to look kind of like a leg. And you can draw a lot of random weird shapes coming out of this, and it's always going to look like a leg as long as you come at an angle like that. So it becomes harder to make mistakes, right? It makes it harder once you know the angles in which your body connects. It makes it really hard to mess it up because anything that you draw coming out of those sections, regardless of the sizing, it's going to look like that body part. I hate multitasking. I'm searching you and the 6 nations of rugby at the same time. Okay. Interesting. All right. So I believe that I have earned more than 3.7K likes. So if you guys feel like staying for the rest of the lesson, do me a favor and then just show me some love because this machine runs off ego boost and props. That is the only thing that RODGON feeds off of. So if you guys feel like making my day better, because maybe I have helped you already in some sort of another way, make sure to like that stream. Just make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. You know, like just find a way to help my channel get more views. That is the only thing that I need help with on your end. If you guys can help me get more views, I am pretty confident about my content, and I'm pretty sure that most people that watch it, that are artists, will want to follow me. And that is not arrogant. That is not anything like that. It's just based on pure feedback from people that have actually followed me. You should see some of the reviews, man. Some of them are actually ridiculously awesome. It's like 30 years and I am barely learning how to do things right. Thank you. And like some other people like watch me religiously with their families and stuff. It's really interesting. So yeah, I have become some sort of like baby art celebrity. That's kind of cool. You've helped me so much since I found you in August. Yeah. You know, it's not often that I'm very proud of myself, but lately I have been incredibly proud of just knowing that I've actually like set out to learn some things and it's come out to be a lot more fulfilling than I thought it would be. This person has really short legs, but okay. And really long arms. Good morning. Yeah, Yeah, drawing poses is going to be a lot easier from now on, mostly because you're not going to have to overthink things. Like, once you stop overthinking the posing, because there really is very simple concepts to a body. Your legs go down from the edges, right? And your arms come from the sides. So once you understand that there's a noodle coming this way, and then these two are individuals, then it becomes really, really cool. It becomes, the bottom quadrants become 2 circles. The upper quadrants become 2 circles. The legs go down, and the arms go to the side. Once you start adjusting this and making this a little bit longer, these circle parts, they just get dragged to the edges more. And you end up with a little bit of a space in the middle. Leave a little space in between each one, making essentially a Ninja Turtle. And you have yourself the makings of a very simple character with all the sections for every part. Your head, your arms, your torso, and later on, as you develop more knowledge of anatomy, you'll be able to separate that into a rib cage, hip bones, and little by little, you'll learn how to draw muscles. That little circle becomes a little circle, that's where your neck comes, and then you add your collarbone. Once you add your collarbone, it completes that system in an anatomical way. This is more of a cartoony way of approaching it. If you want to approach it more anatomy, you just need to add a compass to that circle. And then you have yourself the outside edge of your arm, which you just need to add volume inside. So that is essentially the way that I like to break it down for people. So once you understand this, once you understand how to draw a circle, you should be able to draw a little chibi body because it's just circles. Once you understand that, you can start playing around with posing this even at this stage. Da-da-da. Like, you know, like if you want to like draw like a really cute character. You can do that at this stage because now you have the ability to move a simple body. When you want to learn how to draw a human, it becomes not just one, but it becomes 2 sections and often divided by a little bit of a middle section. So this is my solution for it. And it works really good. It looks really, really good, like surprisingly good. But go watch my videos because I have them. I have like entire theories on this. Like I explain everything from scratch. I gotta color my tiki. Yesterday I watched the Willy Wonka movie, the new one, and it was actually surprisingly good. It was actually quite pleasant. Like I enjoy the music. That kid actor, or I don't even know if he's a kid, but to me he's a kid. I'm 40, dude. The kid from Dune. He's actually a pretty good, like slapstick actor. So it was actually quite pleasant to watch the movie. The music was nice. It wasn't just like rehashing of all the songs from the original, so that was nice. So I recommend it if you guys have HBO Max, it's right there. Insomnia, good day. How are you guys doing? May I ask, what are you using to paint? Right now it's watercolor. The little like tint of color that you're seeing, this is watercolor. So watercolor and ballpoint pen go really, really well together because they just, like it doesn't make it bleed. So I enjoy it because it's very similar to a highlighter, but in more controlled form. So essentially what a highlighter is just a watercolor pen, pretty much. It just has normal neon colors and stuff. All right. Very pretty. Thank you for answering. You are welcome. And thank you for saying my art is pretty. Moderator. Oh, we're having all the sex bots today, huh? Can you show me all the colors? I mean, I guess it's just a basic watercolor set, honestly, though. It's not like this one. I got it for like free from some people on TikTok, and then they stopped making them or stopped selling them, so I don't have to promote shit. Thank you. Bots are annoying. So, let's break down what we've learned so far. So far, you have learned the human body might be a little bit simpler than we thought. Understanding how to draw legs is very simple from a circle. If you take the circle, divide it into 4, this becomes your hip bones and your belly button. Your hip bones and your belly button. Draw a little space right in the bottom, and that's your crotch. In between your crotch and the edge, you have the spacing for your leg. From there, you draw a little cone, and you come up with the basic structure for your legs. Ta-da! From there, this little section is your midsection. So you get to choose how big your rib cage is going to be up, but it's going to be towards the edge of your body. Okay? It's going to follow the contour of your body. It doesn't really change drastically unless you want to. If you have like something like a pinup, you would have probably curvier legs. And then here, your rib cage, instead of going straight up, it would taper in a little bit and taper out, creating an hourglass shape. So you would just taper it out from there. Boom. And that's how you would create the semblance of hip bones. You can always make this bigger, make this smaller, and you get even more curvature. Okay, so that's where stylization comes in. You choose the width of your body parts. You choose the size of your rib cage. If you want a big superhero dude, make it really big, because then your arms are going to require to be farther away from it, giving you a bigger guy. And then when you add muscles on top of this, when you are done figuring your structure and you add muscles, you're going to be able to make this guy look massive. Right? Your muscle structures are going to be whatever you want to put on top of this. And it's going to be based on how much knowledge of anatomy you have. But you're going to have the structure for it properly, at least. So it's going to be easier for you to know where things go, mostly because you're not going to be guessing where your body parts start or end. So you'll be able to add any volume you want as long as those connecting points remain intact. Have you ever enjoyed what they do? Do you understand? Like, you have to understand layers in anatomy, which is so awesome. Yeah, a little bit. You learned something new today. Yes. Hi, Rod. I'm having issues with understanding the connection of the jaw to the neck. Okay. So the jaw, let's talk about the rib cage first. We talked about the rib cage is an egg, right? And this plays a role into the whole neck. So if this is an egg and you draw a circle at the top, this is going to give you access to drawing a little cylinder or a blob of volume on top of your head. This is your rib cage. This is the hole for your head. And then this guy, this circle, if you draw a little compass from the front and the back, it gives you your collarbone. The collarbone is going to lead to the outside edge of your arm. So if you draw a little line like a stick figure from there, this is not the bone. This is the outside edge. So you're combining the elements of silhouetting with the elements of foundation. So you're drawing a thing like this little compass guides you to the outside edge of your arm. So if you buy that and you connect this back to your rib cage, you end up with a little hole that you can use to draw cylinders, to draw your hands better. Finding the connecting point for the arm, it's that simple. Outside edge, volume inside. Outside edge, overlap my volume inside. So you can do it a couple different ways. And then you add your circle, split it in 4, that's your belly button. Wherever the 2 other sides go, that's your hip bones. Add your volume for your legs, and then decide where you want the legs to go. Once you understand those 2 basic shapes, now you can twist and turn the character around all you want. An egg and a circle. That's all you need to learn to be able to pose your characters a little bit better, because you can rotate that circle around all you want. That circle is very easy to rotate. And the egg is really easy to rotate too. How did I draw the pose I did yesterday? This one? This one would be an egg this way. Then a circle to rotate my hips. And then my holes for my leg are right here. And then over here. And then this leg goes this way. And then that other leg goes this way. The compass leads to the outside edge of my arm. So this edge is here. And then down to my arm, volume inside. The other hand is behind me. And my hand is going to be at the radar, which means that my arm just goes this way and this way. And then my head comes from this little hole. So that's how I would create that pose right there. So, you guys were talking about the neck. So let's talk about the neck. Once you find this little cylinder or blob, you can find volume for it by drawing circles inside. Check it out. So, circle, cylinder. You're going to draw circles, and you're going to have a guideline that goes around the entirety of your shape. From here, to draw the jawline, it's actually really easy. Just choose any of these lines, and make a little circle for your chin. This is already going to give you the side and the side of your face. Your neck is already drawn. Once you follow those, it's already drawn. You just have to taper it to whatever you feel like the neck should be. And then connect the bottom of your ears to the middle of your neck. And you have yourself a neck. This works really good because a circle, any circle you draw in there, gives you a guideline from one side of your head to the other. So if you learn to draw through your shapes, it becomes really easy to draw your necks in really cool, interesting positions. Another way that you can see it is that you can draw your egg and then draw that circle, and then consider the back of your neck, the back of your body, that's your spine. So at the back of your rib cage, you're going to have a little stem. That's your spine. Any volume you draw to the front of that is going to be your head, and then connected back to the front of your neck. If you do it from your spine, well, your spine is where your leg, like your movement for your head, comes from. So understanding where that works from, that is going to help you understand how much limitations of movement your head has. Because your spine is literally the thing that controls your head, and nobody ever thinks about it. Like, nobody ever thinks about their spine whenever they're drawing profiles and stuff like that. Like, if you just consider your spine being the back of your head and the back of your body, that means that the little egg on top is going to be the width of your neck. And that, to me, made so much more sense than anything else that I've ever seen. Like, I've never really seen somebody else explain that simple. Eventually, you'll get to the point where you can do this. And you'll just be able to make like a little shelf. Boop, boop. You'll get to that point if you practice this way. And then from there, creating your hairlines and everything become relatively simple. So that is how I approach necks. And it helps, and it's really easy. And I don't have to guess where the neck is. Any shape that I choose, any shape, I can draw a circle on the top and a compass. And that is going to guide my head and the edges of my arms. It's very useful. Overlap the shapes, right? And see what happens. You end up coming up with the ability to draw shapes in forced perspective. You end up drawing your shapes in cool poses, like yoga poses. You end up being able to draw your shapes in a bunch of different things. Okay, gymnastics, whatever. It changed my life. Like, learning to draw like that changed everything for me. So that is going to be something that I hopefully makes a difference in how you see drawing structures, because it doesn't have to be as complicated as we make it. Okay, it doesn't have to be as complicated. It can be broken down into more simple shapes if we allow ourselves to unlearn a lot of the shit that we learn. Because unlearning it is one of the hardest parts. Unlearning all the stuff that I got taught that was irrelevant to what I wanted to achieve in my career was one of the hardest things that I had to learn to do. So understanding, like, for example, like one of the quickest tips that I can give you guys is how to draw eyes really cool. Eyes are 2 lines. Just do this, right? Do that and make a top line darker. Congratulations, you know how to draw eyes perfectly now. Dark line, intersecting bottom line, style. Cool. Dark line, intersecting bottom line, style. Cool. Dark line, intersecting bottom line, style. Cool. Dark line, intersecting bottom line, style. Dope. It's the easiest thing that you can do. The eyes in general are like, boom. Eyes are really simple. Boom. Profile eyes, stuff like that. They're not really all that complicated to draw, but understanding them is what normally takes a little bit of time. Eyeballs are circles. Spheres. Those spheres have other circles inside. And they fall inside of another circle that's your eye socket. So, and then your eyelids are little circles that go around that other circle. And the way that you stylize them is very dependent on what you find appealing. But the whole concept of your actual eye is a bunch of circles. It's just a bunch of circles. It's 5 circles and an overlapping line. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just going around, and an overlapping line. That's all an eye is. If you learn how to do that, you can draw eyes in any style. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and an overlapping line. This one's sad. Can you show an example of how to do perspective? Well, I mean, that's very vague. This is perspective. There you go. Oh, what? That's not enough? Okay, hold on. Let me make a single line and give this perspective. Oh, wait, you need me to do differently? Okay, hold on. Let me make this be in perspective by literally drawing a line. Knowing how to put something in perspective is not necessarily like go all like be all. Like you can make something have depth by drawing a circle inside of it to give it like, you know, like a front and a back and the side and circumference to give it clothing, and that's giving something perspective. If you actually move it into space, you make things bigger, you make things smaller, it's going to give you a different look, and that is perspective. Learning how to draw an eye rotating from the front to the side, 3/4, profile, that's perspective. All that stuff combined is what puts together the whole concept of drawing a character. Being able to understand all those concepts in unison is what allows us to be able to create conceptual work in the way of comics, animations, just illustrations in general that allow us to tell the stories that we want. So the more knowledge you have, the more understanding of these shapes you have, the more creative you get to be. Because creativity stems from an understanding point of view. So if you understand something, then you can deform it. If I know how to draw a circle, well, I can easily draw an oval, right? Because it's a very similar shape. Then I can draw more shapes that are roundy, and they're all variations of that. So once I master this one, it's very easy to master the other ones. And our shapes, our bodies are normally not very boxy. So I like to stay away from boxes when it comes down to drawing the body, because it's just not conducive to a lot of fluidity. So my bodies tend to stem a lot more from circles because they give you overlapping lines immediately. And I don't have to worry about finding those angles. If I have circles, I have access to cylinders, which allow me to draw things in space really easy. By making something bigger, something smaller, I can make something move in and out of space really easy. So it's just a matter of combining all those elements together and then just making it all come together with a very stylized approach. And that is what's normally hard. Taking basic concepts like a circle and finding different things to do with it is not the easiest. That's where creativity comes in. That is where imagination comes in. That is where going outside and drawing people in public comes in. Okay? Drawing people that are doing weird shit is going to help you understand characters a little bit better. Drawing plants and drawing props around your characters, like plants and flowers and insects and butterflies and flies and bees and shit like that, is what's going to help you set a scene. So if you don't go out and draw these things, then you're never going to have that ability, which sucks. You want to be able to have that ability. It looks like a lamp. And this one's casting a light, and then the little flowers gonna be shadows. Anyways, that is what I suggest you guys do. This week, I want you guys to go out and at least draw 20 things around you. 20. Like props, like lamps and flowers and plants and grass and fields and dogs and vehicles and boats and suns and clouds. I want you to draw 20 or 2 entire RODGON style filled pages. Okay? No, none of this like drawing one drawing per page shit. Nah. If you guys are gonna fill up a page, you're gonna fill it up like me. Okay? And you're gonna fill it up with a bunch of props and stuff that you guys that find, around you. Don't make them really big so that you don't have to spend a ton of time drawing each one of them. And they should look something similar to just like really simple. Don't worry too much about detail. Just worry about drawing a simplified version of whatever you see in front of you. If it's a tree, try to simplify it to the point where you just see the big basic shapes. Okay? If you see rocks, just get the general semblance of one side of them with a shadow, and then give the semblance of volume with the solidity of it. If you're going to draw things like things in the water, draw the ripples. See if you can create depth by literally just taking the simplest concepts and applying a little semblance of stylization. You do not respect the Metatron cube. I don't know what you're saying. Do you put out short TikToks in this type? Yeah, I mean, go to my page. I think at this point I have almost 400 posts here, I think, or even more than that. And then I have 3,000 or 4,000 on Instagram, alongside Pinterest, YouTube, and I put this information in as many places as I can so that you guys have access to that. So all you have to really do is go find it. You just have to go search. If you search for it, you'll find all this knowledge. I have over 450 videos total that are almost 1 hour long or more, full of explanations for different things. And literally all you have to do is go find my channel through my links. Your art is great, dude. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. So we are done with our little sketch page today. Oh, do we want to go for one more? What time is it? It is 10 o'clock in the morning. All right, I'll leave it up to you guys. Do you guys want to go for one more? Do you guys want to go for one more page, or do you guys want to call it a day? One more? All right, we'll go into one more if you guys can get me to 35,000 likes. If you guys get me to 35K, I will do another page. Until then, I'm going to do a little filling up of this and do a little recap so far of what we've done. So what we have learned so far today is that maybe the human body is not as difficult as we like to make it out to be. Maybe the human body can be broken down into very simple shapes. And if we know how to manipulate those very basic shapes in the form of a circle and an egg, which is very similar to a circle, then you end up unlocking that ability to pose things a little bit better. It's going to take time. I'm not going to tell you that this is just magically going to make your drawings better. You're going to have to take the time to analyze things. You're going to have to visualize things. You're going to have to play around with this over pictures and trying to draw people in public and stuff like that to see if it actually works for you. This is the way that it worked for me. And that is the way that I have been drawing for the last 4 or 5 months. It's only a matter of me showing you guys how to do it, and that's taking a little bit longer because teaching something to somebody is a lot harder than actually executing it. Me having to want to teach you guys lessons means that I have to take all these things and make sure that I'm not giving you bad information. That is one thing that I really, really despise. And that's when teachers put out knowledge without really knowing if it's going to be beneficial or not. Just because it's something nifty and cool doesn't mean that you should put it out there, because a lot of the times those little tricks and nifty things that you teach people, it keeps them from actually learning how to do the things properly. And when that happens, well, it's not a beneficial thing. It's not at all. Art is not easy. And that is something I tell everybody all the time. Art is never easy. Art as a career is stupidly hard because you have to be creative all the time. 24/7, you have to be creative because that's your paycheck. That's your money. That's your moolah. That's your meal ticket. And that is stressful as hell. And a lot of people don't understand that. They think that art is always sunny and happy and joyful and yay. Well, that is when you don't have to be forced into it. When you have to be forced into creating something from nothing constantly, that is when you burn out. That is when you find out if you actually have the cojones to do this. And a lot of people end up quitting because of that. A lot of people quit doing art because they find it hard. But the thing is, again, no one said art was easy. No one. If someone told you that, they fucking lied. Let's draw something with color. One thing I really like doing is drawing watercolor blobbies and doing like a Rorschach's test and then just allowing my brain to fill in whatever it is that is in front of me. I feel like doing that right now. So I'm just going to draw a bunch of blobbies and I'm going to try to find something to do with them. I try to shut off my brain and then just make like intersecting lines and stuff like that because intersecting lines create depth and overlaps. And then I can make a more semblance of a shape from that. So blotches are good, blotches, smudges, that's always really fun. The ones that really feel like shit whenever you actually want to do things like this is really sharp angles. And again, because the human body doesn't really have super sharp angles except for like a couple parts, maybe like the knee and the elbows. But other than that, you don't really have any of that shit. It's mostly curves and muscles and roundness. So, all right, let's see. Let's make something with this. All right, cool. Should we add a different color? Or should we go monotone? Let's go monotone for now. No. Did we get to that? Yay! I'm taking a simple sketch course now in uni alongside my coding classes. It's so hard because it is. It's really hard. Like drawing is not an easy thing to do. So many people have this weird assumption that art is supposed to be this incredibly simple thing that is given to everybody. And unfortunately, that's not the case. That has never been the case. Art has always been seen as this incredibly difficult thing that normally masters and stuff like that approach. It's never been a simple concept. And normally it's been like secluded to normally to prioritize people, like people that have money, the people that have like the ability to actually, like have the ability to not be in survival mode. And that's been the case for a very long time. And because it's hard, it takes time, it's time consuming, it's frustrating when things don't go your way. Art is not easy. Art is not simple. Art will drive you to fucking insanity. Wanting perfection in this art form is silly because there's no perfection. There's no end goal. There's no like perfect art to achieve. So perfectionism is the most dumb thing that you can do because there's no perfect art. So you're aiming for absolutely nothing. So consider that the next time that you're like, it's not good, it's not perfect. No, that's just your brain telling you that you have like art dysmorphia or something. You're telling yourself like you might be good enough. You're just telling yourself constantly you're not. So you're always going to feel inferior to other people. Like your brain is very powerful. Your brain can either make or break you. And let's see. Okay, so we're going to have this. Maybe make this into like a little hand or something. And then this is like the perfect little shape for like a dragon or something right here. So let's add a little bit more now that we know the semblance of what we want. This could be like a little dragon that she's petting. Dragons do have sharper lines. And we're gonna just make them curving back this way again. There you go. So that'll be the head of the dragon. Cool. All right. Love y'all. You can do this art. So now that we understand that art is not easy, okay, we can take that shit out of the fucking water and then be like, okay, cool. It's not easy, so now I have to work hard if I want to stand out. I need to work harder and I need to aim to understand so that I can actually compete against all the people that do. And again, that tends to be a little bit hard for people to understand that they really have to try, that they have to really try. Why is that hard for people to understand? I have no fucking idea. Right? Like, I don't know why it's so hard to explain to people sometimes that if you want something out of life, you have to really like devote yourself to it. You have to make yourself obsessed almost with the concept of what you want to achieve. Because if you don't do that, the people that do that, like me, are the ones that take the places and the things that you want to achieve. Because alongside many other obsessive human beings, we don't care about spending 20 hours a week, 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week drawing just to learn. And if you don't spend that time, doing it yourself, you're going to end up falling behind people that do. And just because most of the time we're lazy or we just don't find the time, that's the dumbest thing, by the way. You always have time. There's always time. Sketch in the bathroom. Sketch in the toilet. Sketch while you eat. It's your option. It's your choice to not draw more. And when you take acceptance of that, when you accept that, when you take away life is horrible, life doesn't let me do things. When you take away that whole mentality and you're like, okay, fuck it, I'm going to find time, man. Like, this is important to me. I'm going to find the time to do something. Like, even if it's 10 minutes a day, I'm going to find the time to try to learn something new in 10 minutes. And when you do that, when you change that mentality and you seek out to improve every day instead of seeking to like get something given to you or like, oh, it's so hard, I don't want to do it, it's going to take 30 minutes, that lesson's going to take 30 minutes, no, I'd rather just watch a TV show. Those are the decisions that you make every day that either leave you in the same place or they help you progress to the next level. Most people will just go for the easy concept. They'll go, fuck it. I've worked really hard today. I already did a lot. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just going to rest. I'm just going to blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go out with the buddies. You know what? And it's actually good to do that sometimes, but you need to understand that your priority has to be the thing that you want to become. Your priority is going to be the thing that you want to achieve. And if you don't put that forth, if that's not your priority, then why the hell are you doing it? What if the TV show is yours? Well, that's kind of cool. Well, if you're an actor, that's kind of dope. Invite your teacher on set, damn it. All right, so what type of lips should we give him? And so we have this arm set up nicely right there. A little bit of an overlap, and then her hair. Her hair is already established. We just need to add more volume. So we have our hairline right here. So that means that anything else that we add has to be kind of flowing with our hairline. So we're gonna just add a little bit of a different tone, and we're gonna start blending it out a little bit. You can start by just putting a little bit of fuzz on top of her skull, and then build up the hair from there. It's color, it's watercolor, so it's easily malleable. So I like starting like this because it just gives me a little bit more control. And then from there, I could make the hair longer, but it kind of looks really nice. It's like a short haircut, like a pixie cut. That looks really cute. I like that. I might go now. Have a good day. Hey, have a good day too, man. Today I get to go play pool. I'm so excited. I have a big competition coming up in next week. I already set it up so you guys have YouTube videos for the entire of the week. So I've already scheduled them every single day at noon. You're gonna have a new YouTube video. So that's really cool. I'm gonna do that in advance so you guys never have to go without another video. If you guys, I don't care about monetization at this point, honestly. So even when we do play like our playlists, like, you know, like doodle jams and stuff like that, normally I didn't used to upload them because I couldn't monetize them. But now I'm like, why not? You know, even if I did it on stream, so why would I not share that knowledge with other people? So I've been uploading slowly the ones that I've missed. And I hope that they bring you guys a little bit of joy. Because the knowledge is kind of cool. All right, so from there, let's see. We need a little bit of a shadow underneath the jaw. Okay, we need a little bit of an eyeshadow. And a little bit on the nose, a tiny bit. Cool. Inside the ear, a tiny bit. Cool. So now we have that section. Yay. So now do we want to make her like a jungle queen? Do we want to make her like a sci-fi character? Do we want to make her like, oh, we should make her for the spirit stones shape. Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to give her a glove. So Spirit Stones is going to be the idea, the brainchild of my buddy Stark Kaiju. And his storytelling is absolutely fucking amazing, right? Like he came up with this story almost 20 years ago. And he essentially never really did anything yet with it because he wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready. He wanted to illustrate everything. He wanted to do everything on it. And, you know, at one point you're like, cool. But when you don't do anything with it for like 20 years, you know, he eventually was like, all right, dude, you love this story. how about I just give it to you? And then I'm like, don't give it to me. It's not a matter of giving it to me. Just allow me to draw it. Just allow me the chance to draw some concept art for it. And if we like the direction it goes, then we can, like see about like just building something together. And he gave me access to that. So I'm going to take advantage of that. And I'm going to blow this like concept out of the water because it's really dope. Like I really like the idea of the story that he has. So I look forward to doing more with it. Let's see. So let's see. What type of clothing should we give her? Maybe a tank top? Yeah, let's try tank top. I like tank tops. So tank tops wrap around the shoulder and they come up. In this case, the shoulder is pointing up a little bit. So the volume for the shoulder and my bicep is going to be overlapping. My forearm curves around. This is a difficult position normally for people to draw because of that muscle curvature angle situation. I'm gonna thin out the arm a little bit. And my tank top is gonna create a little bit of a shadow alongside my arm. And then my boobie is gonna like poke out a little bit right there, a little bit. The front of the tank top is going to create a semblance of cloth instead of just organic roundness. And then from there, I can choose how far back down that tank top is gonna go. Let's make it a little crop top. Okay, cool. From here, I can define the jaw and everything else a little bit more now, because now I know where my neck ends and where it begins. My other shoulder is gonna be on this side, and this other arm would be doing something over here. Maybe giving it a little bit of a darker tone. It's gonna push it in the background so it looks a little bit more like a comic book. From here, I can draw little tattoos. Let's see, what should we draw? I love dragons. And then an egg. The mother of dragons. Let's see, what other type of tattoos would this person have? They probably have little dragon wings. And like little burning cities, burning people. No. The raising of like the apocalypse due to the dragon fires. And we'll draw Bernie right here. She's a fan of Bernie, even though he kills dragons. A dagger wraparound. A dagger. Let's draw a dagger right here. Let's see. Then we can add a little different tone to her, just to make this pop out from her skin tone. Cool. So now we have that. Right here, I'm gonna add a little bit of color to make it a little darker so she looks a little bit more pale. By adding color outside of my shape, I can make a color look lighter. By adding color outside of it and next to something dark, like right here, right? Right here. This is about the same tone. By making this a little bit darker, this pops out more. It's just simple laws of contrast. So even a little tiny blob, boop, little tiny blob can make a big difference, especially in the focus and the look and feel that you want to achieve for your design. All right, so we have that. Now we can move on to the bottom part of the body. Or should we draw the dragon first? Let's draw the dragon first. All right, if you guys enjoy what I'm doing so far, please hit that little heart button. Let's get to 100,000 at some point. My God. Nice stretch. Oh, my dear God. It felt good. I woke up feeling good today. I woke up feeling really good today. We're going to have a wonderful week. All right, so let's draw the dragon. So this dragon, it seems like this is his little mouth and muzzle. He's going to be like tucking it in, and it seems like this is his forehead. If you guys aren't aware of how dragons work, their forehead muscles essentially lead to their horns, and it's very easy to draw that. Your eyebrow muscles goes into your horns. Then your cheekbone muscles, like your cheeks, also go into little horns. So if you just keep those two concepts in mind, drawing the horns for dragons becomes a little bit easier. Draw midline. Give myself another horn in the back. This could be the mouth, but yeah, that looks like a mouth. That's perfectly fine. Let's see the neck muscles. You've been watching you for around a decade, man. Cool to see you're still around. Oh, damn, you've been watching me for, whoa, that's a long time, man. Thank you. I hope that you seeing me this long, I hope that you see improvements. I mean, you're probably one of the few people that actually have seen me for that long. So I hope that my improvement has been significant. And it's like Toothless's brother. Let's see. Yeah. Mouthful. Toothless's brother, Mouthful. That's kind of funny. Add a little bit of texture, a little bit of detail, a little bit of shadows, a little cross hatching here and there. Little baby details can make a huge difference. Cool. So now we have our little dragon. We can add a little bit of detail to him. I love dragons. Again, it's kind of like with women. I it took me a long time to be able to draw dragons and reptiles and monsters and stuff like that in a way that was convincing enough for me to feel like I actually knew what I was doing. So that is one of the most fulfilling things that I get to draw most often, because it took me so long to be able to do it effortlessly. And I'm very, very proud of the ability to draw both pinups and monsters and stuff like that, because honestly, one of my biggest influences are the people from Creature Box. What? Like Greg and Dave, like from Creature Box. They're essentially the role models that I wish that I had. And, like Creature Box was awesome. When I heard that they like broke up the studio, I was like devastated. But in general, that has been like the two topics that I've always wanted to do better. I've wanted to draw pinups better, and I've wanted to draw creatures and silly, derpy animals better. All right, so we have the leggy. What type of clothing should we give her? So she looks kind of like a little punk rockish kind of girl, but we need to make her outfit functional. So we're gonna give her shorts, like Tomb Raider type of shorts. This will lead to our waist. I'm gonna taper the waist a little bit more so she has more of a hourglass type of veil. This means that her hips are gonna be coming here, so that's the top of the pants. Creases would happen right there because the intersection of your thigh with your hip bone creates a crease. From here, this would be wrapping around, and maybe give her like cargo pants or something like that. Something with pockets. Cool. So now she has a leg. Her hip bone is right at the beginning of that circle. And that's where the hip bone goes. So that's where a little indicator of that goes. Your thigh goes into your kneecap. And the tendons and stuff like that are the things that curve around the knee. So if you draw that, and then if from the kneecap, just draw a straighter line, like whatever curvature you want for your calf. Draw a straighter bone, because this is your bone, right? The front of it is your bone. The bone doesn't bend. So that's why you draw the front first. The front into your feet, whatever feet you want. And then you draw the calf muscle and you tuck it behind the thigh. So in all reality, it's gonna look like this. You're gonna draw your thigh in the form of an egg connected to that circle. You're gonna draw a straight line down into whatever foot you want, and then you're gonna tuck in the calf muscle behind. What is this gonna do? It's gonna help you understand how to draw that in different positions. Okay? Understanding that body part, it's normally a freaking pain in the ass until you do that. Straight down, and then draw the muscles behind. Straight down, and then draw the muscles behind. See what I mean? Draw the line first, connect it to your foot, and then draw your muscle behind. And that's going to help you so much with your legs. Like, it's going to change the way that you see legs, because it actually becomes really easy. Here, I think I want a tattoo, or do I want a holster? Oh, I kind of like the holster idea. Okay. So we'll have a holster right there. And the holster will be pressing against her skin a little bit, so there would be a little bit of a compression point, because that would be tightening around her leg. You would have a little bit of a belt situation thing, probably. And that holster is just gonna be for her fishnets. Into some weird big socks. Then the form of kitty ears. I like those. I like those on girls. Like the ones that are like almost like super themed. I don't know why I like that. Like I tend to draw that on most of my like pinups whenever I get a chance to. Into my shoes. Let's see. All right. Dope. Cool. He is so confident in his lines. Yeah. I mean, it's taken a while to get to that point, but thank you. Appreciate that. Just a little bit of contrast, a tiny bit of. Let's see. With watercolor, I don't like being incredibly precise. I actually enjoy it more when it's like all like uneven and not really all that structured. And I don't know why. It's just like everything else in my life, everything that I draw is so structured and like methodical where everything goes. I like to switch that up with the color and making the color aspect of my elements be random and chaotic. That way my clean line work contrasts nicely with my line work, with my colors, and it creates a deeper, more cool looking illustration. Cool. This has been fun. I'm glad you guys talked me into drawing one more page. If it wasn't for you guys telling me that, we wouldn't have drawn this. Yeah, it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. Do, 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 do. You know that I'm having fun with something when I stop talking. When I stop talking, it's like ooh, 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 ooh. And final details. Let's dilute that a lot. Let's add some vines, some light source. And a little bit of shadows. Cool. Came out really cool. Is there any way to blend colors and how to shade better? A lot of it is going to be understanding what different colors do with each other. I highly suggest that you just get a cheap watercolor set, like a really cheap watercolor set, and then just start playing around with different tones. Like, you need to just play around with them at first. Like, I'm not saying that that's the only way you got to learn. You eventually have to learn color theory and all that stuff too. But at first, like, experimenting, kind of like you do with when you're drawing just shit in general. You have to experiment. You have to play around with things. And if you don't do that, then you're never going to get to the end result that you want. All right, so the other leg is right here, and I want it bent. So that means that the leg has to come out this way and then curve back down. But we need overlaps. So there you go. And then we'll just make it dark. It's getting pushed to the background anyways. Cool. I'm gonna have to get going. Haven't seen a lot. Oh, well, thank you for joining us. We're about to be done with our page anyways. So I hope that you guys have had a lovely stream so far. I hope that you guys have learned a little bit. Well, actually, I hope that you guys have learned a lot. And I know, for example, I learned through observation. So I know that by watching other people draw, I tend to just improve because I see what they do. And that is a big reason why I come on here and do this live. I don't like doing pre-recorded stuff and sped up anymore because it just doesn't really convey the same emotion that you need to be able to see someone create something from scratch. The notion of being able to understand that you can take all those basic lessons and actually achieve something cool with them is a visual that you can't really replace. So I hope that I can at least have done that for you today. Knowing that the techniques that I teach you can lead you down the path to be able to create something really cool like this is kind of like invaluable to me. I know that I would learn a lot from doing that, watching, observing, and paying attention. So I hope that that helped you along the way today. I hope that your drawings improve, and I hope that you guys seek out more knowledge in the form of my YouTube channel if you guys want to learn more. The knowledge is there, and I've said this over and over and over again. The knowledge is there for those that want it. You just have to seek it out. Right? The channel is there, like 400 or so 1 hour long or more videos are there. You just have to go and want to learn from it. Take notes, bring your sketchbook with you, and have fun because that's a big component of it too. You can't do this without having fun. It's just not a possible thing. So enjoy yourselves. Draw a lot. I hope you draw with intention of getting better. The drawing and the purpose of wanting to improve it's a big component of it. You need to understand that it's going to be a long journey for you. For everybody. It's not just for me, for you, for everybody. Everybody goes through that same journey of discovery. Most people never get there. Most people just never get to that end point. They just don't, because they stop along the way. They stop trying to grow. They stop trying to get to that next level. And that's when you get stagnant. And then you end up going like, why is everybody so much better than me? Oh, how come I can't do blah, 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 blah. And then, insecurities kick in. And then eventually you just give up because that's just the nature of it. So to avoid that, learn. To avoid that, be a constant student. and learn that at the end of the day, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. Okay? Whatever you put into this, you're going to get out. If you put hours in an obsession, you're going to get a lot more opportunities than a person that doesn't do that. What we do is not just to improve, but it's also to generate opportunities for ourselves. If we have the ability to generate opportunities for ourselves, we have more chances to succeed in the things that we want. If we don't give ourselves the ability to succeed, well, then you'll never have those little semblances of opportunities that we all kind of want and need, and we search for, and we crave. So, yeah, do with that what you want. Anyways, I hope that you guys had a fantastic day. I'm about to go. I'm going to go have some breakfast. I'm going to play with my puppy. And I'm going to upload videos to YouTube. So I'm going to break this one down probably into 2 videos. I'll do the pinup one, and then I'll do the body posing one in different videos. So you guys have a little bit more access to content. Thank you guys so much again. Enjoy your Sunday. And I will see you guys tomorrow for another lesson. Ooh, no, wait, hold on. Right here. I need that knee to look a little bit lighter. So I'm just going to add a little color to this section. And now that knee magically looks a little lighter. Whoa, magic. Anyways, you guys have a good one. Take care.